At what moment did you realize you were dating an idiot? She kept trying to put food inside the rolling pin and then trying and flatten it by just rolling it around. This is amazing. We were driving around this weird part of Las Vegas and I said, "This is surreal." He said, "I know. It's so real." I repeated, "Surreal," and he repeated, "So real." I think I would do this intentionally just to pee off my boyfriend, to be honest. We were watching Django, and during the winter training montage there is a moment where the camera pans over a herd of reindeer. At that moment my ex said something about how she thought it was weird that they would include reindeer in the movie because it kind of breaks the immersion. I was confused and asked what she meant by that. She went on to explain to me how reindeer weren't real animals and just make believe like characters in a fairy tale, aka Rudolph and the rest of Santa's reindeer. Asked him what event resulted in World War I. His response was 9/11. He was serious. When she flipped out because her third grader came home with erect on a spelling list and was on the verge of calling the school. She honestly had lived her entire life not knowing erect had any other use aside from describing a penis. You should have explained. In New Orleans they erected numerous dikes. I dated a guy for about a month until I found out that he didn't realize that women's breasts made actual milk to feed their babies. He thought breastfeeding was just a way to hold a baby while giving it a bottle. I told him he was an idiot and he said, with a disgusted sneer, "I didn't know that because I have never known any woman who had or would breastfeed their child." I told him that I had breastfed my son and he called me a child molester. Should have told him about his mother. When she thought I was crazy for putting Pop-Tarts in a toaster. Or maybe it was the time she tried making hamburger helper for the first time at 27 years old and called me from the store to ask where they sold the brown hamburger meat. I'm wasting away to nothing. Send help. Oh, I almost forgot the best part. She's teaching your children right now in a public school. First time was when he told my parents he was a vegetarian because he eats everything. The same guy told me that the bumps on the side of the highway are so blind drivers know when they run off the road. High school boyfriends. He was hot though. The moon is so beautiful tonight. That's a street light. I had been dating this girl for a few months and it was Christmas time. We weren't super serious, but it was serious enough that I was buying her Christmas presents. I found something for her that was perfect and it had a connection to some funny event involving her and my cat. So I made the present from the cat. I thought I was being cute and she would make the connection. Instead, she got pissed that my cat got her a present and I didn't. I thought she was joking. To make matters worse, we were at her parents' place and they backed her up. It was extremely awkward and I realized it wasn't going to work out. Cats, A, don't have money, B, don't give a frick about you even if they did. When I was helping her with geography homework and she couldn't point out our own country on the map. When she pointed up at a bluish star and sincerely asked, "Is that Earth?" What a strange, surreal question. I get vertigo from even reading that. When she surprised me by inviting her mother on our 16-day Hawaiian cruise. She got me mad libs and when it was her turn to do a noun she asked what is a noun. I said it's a person, place, or thing. There was a long silence as she thought. It went on for so long that I thought she must be thinking of the best noun I had ever heard. Then she said place. Technically correct. She told me with a straight face that our horoscopes had changed and it was a bad idea to be together. Well, at least she was right. Back in college, I saw fleur-de-lis tattoo on the girl's butt for the first time. Me. What made you decide to get a fleur-de-lis tattoo on your ass? Her. I don't know. I wanted something tribal. In high school I was in an extracurricular program after school. There was one portion of it that was pretty much all girls. I dated a girl from this portion all throughout high school. I went to all of their events and helped out. I always wondered why none of the other girls or their parents really talked to me. Right before we graduated I brought it up to her and she told me that she told all of them that I was physically and verbally abusive all the time. When I asked her why, she told me it was so no one else would steal me away from her. I broke up with her shortly after. That is so fricked. When I saw her water her plastic plant for the third time. I've had this one cactus for maybe 2 years now. It leaks so I kinda never watered it. At this point I don't know if it's artificial or organic. But I don't really want to break it to find out, so I just keep it by my other plants and don't think about it. I freaking swear to God I'm not making this up. Back in 2006 my ex-wife fell for the Nigerian prince scam and gave out our bank account number. A roommate of mine was dating this girl. Very cute, super sweet. We were all in the living room watching another roommate play Call of Duty, World at War. It was still new at the time. She eventually asks if this was based on a true story. We reply that although the specific characters likely didn't exist, the game was based on World War II. Her response, "What's World War II? Are you serious? It was World War freaking II. At one point, she even said it's not like everyone knows about it. Yeah, Katie, the whole world knows about it. It was a world war, and not the first one, either." When he said the color orange didn't exist, because it was really just pink and red mixed together. As someone who's really into graphic design, this hurts me. Why do people keep going to knife point? Was on a hike and was following a trail I had read up on online. We get to a fork and I say, "Okay, now we need to go north." She says, "Haven't we been this whole time?" Confused, I look at her and ask why she says that. She replies, "North is the direction in front of you." Yeah, still not entirely sure about the origins of that logic. In my defense, this was back in 2004. I found it charming and endearing that he did funny voices, made funny idiosyncratic jokes, and occasionally called me M-Lady. Then I saw Anchorman. Oh my god, he literally was doing a 24/7 Ron Burgundy impression, eclipsing his entire personality. I'm not sure I ever really met him. Well, that escalated quickly. We were 16 at the time and went to go have sex. I realized I didn't have any condoms, and then's when she told me I didn't need one because I trust my body not to get pregnant. I asked her what she was talking about and she told me it takes conscious effort to become pregnant, and if she didn't want to be, she would never conceive. When we got into a legit argument over how many years there are in a decade. Baby, if you are reading this, there are only 10 years in a decade, not 12. That the past was black and white. She was serious. Maybe she just has a very simple view of history. My ex for 4 years, when she considered it not cheating to have sex with a woman, because there's no dong inside of her. B, it's still cheating. I told her a story about my childhood. 2 weeks later, she told it for me, but this time it was her childhood. Girl I dated for 5 years thought Al Qaeda was a lone terrorist named Al. Convinced the same girl that Whoopi Goldberg was married to Gerard Depardieu, as in her full name is Whoopi Doopy-Doo. She tried to argue that we could get to the moon easier if we just built a spaceship that could go underwater, and flew it through the ocean to the moon during the daytime rather than straight up. My god, someone get NASA on the phone. He shot himself in the leg twice while cleaning it, the same gun, 2 weeks apart. We were at a restaurant and she saw a picture of a buffalo and said, "I wanna eat that pig." I was dying laughing. Probably one of the funniest people I've dated, but definitely wasn't too sharp. My ex thought that whenever I missed his call, the phone would still be ringing even after it went to voicemail. I got at least 3 voicemails a week that consisted of silence and the odd annoyed, impatient sigh. I showed my wife this thread and she reminded me that I used to think yeast infections were a result of eating too much bread. Yep. My ex-GF is 5 feet 4 inches and petite. She wouldn't eat all day and have 3 martinis and black out. She would then claim she was allergic to alcohol. She thought Scotland was its own island, as in separated by water. We live 30 minutes from the border. When she tried to convince me that the Pacific Ocean was fresh water, he insisted that women cannot be doctors, only nurses, and vice versa. He said that the two are the exact same thing except one is male and one is female. He was in his early 20s. All dogs are boys and all cats are girls, OBV. When she told me that she'd never been to France, I knew for a fact she went to Disneyland Paris every year. Paris isn't in France, she insisted. We live in the UK, not USA or somewhere else. You can literally drive to France. There are a fair amount of French people who would agree with her. She told me her most common password was very secure because it was a bunch of random numbers, her social security number. We were texting back and forth and she said she was obsessed with Bon Jovi. I realized that it was a typo and asked why she was upset with Bon Jovi and she said no, I love him. I'm obsessed with him. Obsessed. He thought the Nation of Islam was a place. When I explained to him this was not the case, he responded with, agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. I don't agree to that. Oh wow, Halloween is on Friday the 13th this year. No it's not. Is that an albino duck? That's a dove. When I told her that not every country celebrates the 4th of July or Thanksgiving, luckily she left me for a crackhead named Brad and told everyone that I finish quickly in bed. You have been visited by the traveling dog. Comment I want travel so your boss can give you free days and you can go on a trip. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.